Hey guys, Bex here at roadtoruta.com. Breaking news. On the road to Roota theory, Trump agrees to spend $2 trillion on U.S. infrastructure with the Democrats. Breaking news. Why is this breaking news on the road to Roota theory? You need to go back and read the original road to Roota theory. Here is the original road to Roota theory. I put it right at the top at roadtoruta.com, near the top, right after the light path. I have a video on it. It explains all the stuff I'm talking about, where I came to it in 2007, where I found the documentation at the Federal Reserve Bank, and then it even has links to the very first articles that I wrote. Back in 2007, I wrote them for GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee. So right under the video, if you're tired of watching videos, there's some great links to the road to Roota theory. And just click on Road to Roota theory. It'll take you to this page, which kind of starts to explain how I got there. And this is the Road to Roota theory. This has not changed. My message, my story, my analysis, it's been filled in a lot of the blanks since 2007, but the basic message has not changed. And that is that the Road to Roota theory postulates there's a group of people in the United States as well as around the world that are working to remove and destroy the financial banking powers that have secretly controlled all aspects of our lives for hundreds of years. The original idea of this group sprang from the mind of Alan Greenspan and involved rigging markets with computer programs that he had invented in the 1960s. And you can find the original Road to Roota article right here that I wrote early in 2007. And it was amazing that I found this stuff on the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. And at the time, it had big red exclamation points after the posting on the Fed website. This is everything. This explains everything that's going on with this. Trump agreeing to spend $2 trillion. Whatever happened to, we're going to get the budgets in line. We're going to grow the economy to take down our deficit. The future of our country lies in taking care of our expanded Medicare and Social Security system. We have to save that. No, that is not. That's exactly what we don't have to save. That's exactly what we have to destroy. And the only way to destroy it is what Roota wrote in the sand originally. I beg of you, go to roadtoruta.com, read this. Read the original Road to Roota. It's called Road to Roota, or the implementation of a gold standard, of a new gold standard. It was all about destroying the old monetary system to move forward with a creative destruction event. And it outlines step by step how I got there. And this was in 2007 I wrote this. That's the amazing thing. So the Fed wrote 2 comic books that I had found. Now, mind you, I was on the Fed Boston website on January 1st, 2007. The very day they posted the new version of Wishes and Rainbows and the teacher's guide, The Road to Roota. I was there that day. How that happened, I have no idea, but that set me off on this mission. And I continue to this day, and the mission hasn't changed. The story has not changed. It's been tweaked here and there, but the overall story that there are people behind the scenes trying to destroy the monetary system and start something new has not changed. And that's over 10 years ago. I just want to show you, read through it. It all makes sense. I filled in some stuff. Here's some of the early computer programmers. Back in the day, I thought it was BASIC they were writing with. They were using a combination of BASIC and Fortran. And Roota comes from Fortran. And again, Alan Greenspan's best friend was John Kennedy, the guy who invented BASIC computing. Read these articles and you will understand what the hell is going on with Trump agreeing to spend another $2 trillion when we have massive debts everywhere. My friends at GATA are probably rolling over in the grave saying, oh my God, this goes against anything about strong monetary system. Of course it does, because they're not trying to make a strong monetary system. They're trying to destroy the old system to get us out of the power of the bankers. But I'm going to go right to, this talks a lot about Stephen DeVoe, who was the guy who implemented the computer programs at the Fed Boston in the 70s and 80s. and then what he's doing today, and how he worked for IBM when they were injecting computer programs into almost everything, all CNC machines, computer numerically controlled machinery. So power plants, they can shut down anything. They have absolute power. And it talks about fighting the bad guys. The Federal Reserve is fighting the bad guys in the banking system, absolutely. And check out what Roota writes in the sand. This is key to understanding why they're spending so much money. When Roota was trying to allocate assets to the community, the formula she wrote was a formula called On the Road to the Golden Age. You can see it right here. She's writing it right here. And in the new comic, it's 11 plus 9 or 9/11. The Fed Boston is talking about 9/11. And that was the turning point when the good guys said, no more of this. We know who did this 9/11 stuff. It wasn't 19 hijackers. We're going to go after these bad guys. So what she's writing in the sand right here on the top in the 1981 version, I write, in the 1981 version, she writes various asset allocation formulas, including a formula very similar to Bertel-Naslin conclusion of On the Road to the Golden Age. This theory dealt with Nobel Prize winner E. Phillips' golden rule theory of equal capital allocation. In the 1960s and 70s, these were leading-edge theories on monetary policy. Naslin theory concluded that the optimal path timeframe T, which you can see we're writing in the sand right up here, right? There's the T, there's the infinity sign, G and P, all that stuff is right here. And if you click on this link, it goes right to the conclusion of the formula. Would be best if it went to infinity. See the symbol T and infinity in the sand. It's not hard to conjecture that applied to implementation of the gold standard, the best strategy would to be first totally devalue the currency, sending gold to infinity in dollar terms, increasing GNP and hoarding physical gold and other commodities before introducing the discipline of a gold standard. But notice in the 2007 version of the comic, the equations are not there, but there is something else written in its place. It's 11 plus 9 or 9/11. And then I give some links to the real story about 9/11, who did it and why. And there's Roota talking to her grandmother about taking out the big people. Please start studying your Road to Roota theory, because they will be teaching this in every grade school in America when the shit is over with. They will be teaching the Road to Roota theory in every grade school in the United States. Absolutely. Crazy, I know, but absolutely. We will be going down in history. There's no doubt. And then I did a backup a few months later of the original Road to Roota theory, and then I wrote this second one called Greenspans' Golden Secret. It's all about Alan Greenspan's introduction to computers in the 1960s. His mentor, Arthur Burns, was the head of the Fed. He hired Alan Greenspan to write computer programs to rig the markets to control the monetary system. That's where we are today. That's why all these high-frequency trading bullshit happens. It's all Greenspan's fault. You can be mad at him, fine. But why was he doing it? He was doing it to delay the implementation of the gold standard and to take out the bad guys. Absolutely 100%. What did Greenspan do when he got to the head of the Fed? First of all, when Reagan put Greenspan as the head of the Fed, everybody was shaking their head going, what's the number one gold bug in America doing being put as the head of the Fed? And what did he do? Did he try to tighten the belt? No. He loosened the reins. He took away derivatives to give the banks enough derivative regulation to give the banks enough rope to hang themselves. All of this comes back to right here. This is another big moment on the Road to Roota theory. Trump and the Democrats agree instantly to spend massive amounts of money to destroy the U.S. monetary system. Trump agrees to spend $2 trillion on U.S. infrastructure. Democratic leaders emerged from the White House talks with Donald Trump Tuesday, saying that they had reached an agreement with the president to spend $2 trillion to improve America's creaking infrastructure. We agreed on a number which was very, very good, $2 trillion. Why not make it $20 trillion or $100 trillion? Or a quadrillion. It doesn't matter. The concept is we need enough money out there to destroy the old system, and then the debts go away. So very, 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 very good news that they're spending massive amounts of money because the system is unsustainable. Everybody knows that. You cannot pay off this amount of debt. We don't even know how much debt it is. There's the 22 trillion, the national debt that they tell you about. And then Catherine Austin Fitts found another 30 trillion. And oh, by the way, there's the stuff they don't tell anybody about. In the quadrillions, the Googles. I think Google's a number, correct? In the hundreds of quadrillions of dollars that nobody can pay back. And that's the idea. The idea is not to pay back debt at all. The idea is what Roota wrote in the sand way back when. Right there on the road to the golden age. You want to go back to a gold standard or some other form of sound money. You run the system as long and hard as possible, soaking up all the benefits of unbacked fiat money, including building roads, building bridges, building houses, building your military. You run it and you run it and you run it and you run it till it destroys itself. And that's where we're headed. So yes, go to roadtoroota.com and click on it would be the second article here or is a video. It describes the Road to Roota theory. It's about 45 minutes long. The third one here is the Road to Roota theory. The original papers I wrote over the past 10 years. And it's broken down into some key components. Number one is the Road to Roota theory, the original article I wrote for GATA, Greenspan's golden secret when I discovered Greenspan, what he was really doing. And then the key components of the Road to Roota theory, I list them. Number one, all markets have been 100% controlled by computer programs since the 1970s in order to steer and control prices, thus prolonging the fiat money system. Number two, a powerful cabal of the world's elite have taken over that market manipulation process and twisted it to enhance their own profits while pretending to service their nation's best interests. Each one of these has an article proving it. Number three, in the early 1900s, the United States embarked on a secret policy to hide all of its own natural resources and exploit the rest of the world's resource scarcity until resource scarcity was fully recognized. Absolutely. And I think I wrote this before I discovered the Golden Grand Canyon too. And that just further said, oh my God, that's what the U.S. does. We hide all our oil, we hide all our gold and silver, 100%. Number four, in order to support the oil-backed U.S. dollar, the world's petro-based economic system, the powers that be have hidden new energy technologies that will greatly benefit the world's population as well as the environment. Those worried about Agenda 21 and the 2030, it's not the IMF. Is it the IMF? Anyway, the Agenda 21 is 100% doable if you release the new energies. But half the population would be out of work because we are absolutely reliant upon that. But if you crash the system, everybody's out of work anyway. And then we can release the new energies and then we can move forward. That's exciting. Number five, since 9/11, there's a group of people and governments that have decided enough is enough, are in the process of removing the banking cabal from their seat of power. I hope everybody understands that this was written before Q was announced, before Q came out. There are good guys working to take out the bad guys. Number six, the planned destruction of the fiat monetary system is the type of creative destruction event that will force the implementation of a new gold standard within the United States. I wrote this long before Bitcoin was on the scene. Now I think it will be a combination of gold and cryptocurrencies. But remember, there's a hell of a lot of gold in the Grand Canyon and at Chocolate Mountain and around the world. Read Golden, what is it called? Peggy and Sterling Seagrave's book, Gold Warriors. And you'll understand just how much, that's just in the Philippines. Hundreds of thousands of tons of gold. Hundreds of thousands of tons of gold. All right. And then I got some more stuff in there. But please, read it, because this makes no sense unless you understand that they're trying to destroy the monetary system. Just another proof on the road to Roota. They're dropping like flies. Bang, 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 bang. It's all true. Big Square, roadtoroota.com. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.